This is Christianity, the lawless. This is what happens because, quote, Christians in name only believe that, quote, the laws are done away with, end quote.
A Houston reverend ordered to pay $2.45 million to a woman that a jury found he gave herpes to.
Tonight, that woman's lawyer is speaking only to our Devin Clark, who's live outside the courthouse where the judgment was granted just this morning. Devin.
Keith, Daniela, that attorney we spoke to, says it was a 3-day trial with 6.5 hours of deliberations. And after that, a jury found Reverend Ralph D. West II liable and ordered that hefty judgment.
Right, it can't fix it. She's got it for the rest of her life.
Attorney Sean Murphy is speaking for his client, who a jury found contracted genital herpes from Reverend Ralph D. West II after meeting off Facebook. As seen here on the Church Without Walls website, he's listed as the Eldridge campus minister.
The things that we look at for cases like these are essentially 4 things. Is the defendant infected, and how can we prove it? Did he know he was infected? And, how do we prove, do we have evidence of that?
Not only does Murphy say they were able to prove those facts, but also that West lied when asked about having herpes and that he gave it to his client after they had unprotected sex in March of 2018.
She got an outbreak 2 or 3 days later, went in and got tested, and, from there, able, through the medical records, able to identify that he was the source of it, in part because she hadn't been with anybody else. She had had a prior negative test.
Murphy says subsequent conversations supported the claims.
When she asks, where did this come from? His response was his son's mother.
He adds there were also emails between West and his client,
where she accuses him of knowing he had it, of giving it to her, and there's other allegations about not caring about me, that kind of thing.
The response, Murphy says, was telling.
He never once denied that he had it or that he knew he had it.
West declined to comment. Murphy says his client does feel a sense of relief and vindication, but aside from that $2.45 million she was granted, she hopes that this story sends a clear message to anyone who knowingly puts their partner at risk for STDs. Reporting live outside of the Harris County Civil Courthouse, Devin Clark, KPRC 2 News.
All right, Devin, thank you.
All right, we're going to take a read of paragraphs 7, 13, and 14, because these went by pretty quick within the video. You did not get a chance to look at it, so we're going to take a detailed look at it. This is paragraph 7 of the court documents. During this time, parties had extensive communications and conversations regarding morals, values, principles, Christian beliefs, relationships, and sexual intimacy. Plaintiff made clear to defendant that she believed in and expected honesty, truthfulness, and transparency relationships, probably meant in relationships. Plaintiff also made clear to defendant that because of these foundational principles, she did not date much and was also overly protective of her health and well-being. During these communications and conversations, defendant repeatedly represented that he was a man of God, that he shared the same fundamental belief in honesty, truth, and transparency, that he had been tested in the past, and that he was free and clean of any sexually transmitted diseases. Man of God in the scriptures is the definition of a prophet. This man is certainly not a prophet. And if you go by the worldly definition of it, this is someone who is supposedly working for God, as they say in Christianity. He is definitely not one of those either. He's definitely not a man of the Most High. Let's take a look at paragraph 13, and it reads, after accepting proof that plaintiff had tested negative for genital herpes in the past and had not had any sexual intercourse with any other individual for at least 2 years prior to meeting defendant, and how could he be tested to prove he had not had sexual intercourse with someone in the last 2 years? It makes no sense. Defendant admitted to plaintiff that he knew he had genital herpes before meeting plaintiff and that he had been infected by the mother of his son. This is very much more compounded because this man got an STD from the mother of his children, which means she had gotten an STD from someone. So now you have the mother of his son has a sexually transmitted disease. The man has sexually transmitted disease, and then he, operating in his lust, wants to fulfill his lust. He gets with another woman, and he gives her the sexually transmitted disease. You see, this is what you get in Christianity when you don't follow the laws, statutes, and commandments of Most High, because you're not supposed to cause sin upon your brother, which also includes your sister, okay? And not hold a grudge against the children of thy people. You're not supposed to do that. So this is someone who fell in his lust, couldn't control himself, burning in his lust, and ended up giving a disease to someone else because he does not have any self-control. Not a man of the Most High, not a man of the Lord, Yahweh. Now let's take a look at paragraph 14. Now this is the one that this is funny, and it's not funny, and it's just ridiculous. Subsequently, and compounding defendant's concealment and misrepresentations, defendant attempted to intimidate plaintiff to remain silent, both in thought and with physical intimidation. Defendant made suggestions to plaintiff that, quote, Christians don't take Christians to church, to court. So like you, Christians don't take Christians to court. You see, this is a mess. And the next quote is just even more ridiculous. Christians turn the other cheek and forgive, end quote. Oh, and it just gets worse. Quote, marry me as no other man will want to be with you. And quote, your family and father would be devastated by the news, end quote. You see, he tried to, that's intimidation for sure. But to say, this is what they believe. This is why Christianity is failing, all right, in the minds and the conduct of the people, because there are no laws, there are no standards from which to operate. It is certainly not true that believers don't take believers to court. Now we take them to the court of the judges within our community, but in this system, we're an Esau system. We go to their courts for things, and you can use their courts because they're already set up. We don't have anything set up. All right, the Christian church certainly doesn't have anything set up. You cannot go to Christian pastor and litigate anything. All right, so this thing about turning the other cheek, this man is out of his mind, because only a fool would so-called turn the other cheek and forgive something like this. Only a fool would do that. Now this woman has something that she cannot get rid of, and prayerfully she does not end up acting in her lust or out of some sort of frustration, anger, or vengefulness, passing an STD on to someone else. Right? So this is what you get in Christianity. Now we're going to take a look at the scriptures, and we're going to see the truth of the matter. We are called to obey the laws to the best of our ability in practicing the righteous acts. That's in Judges 5:11. In the faith of Yahushua. That's Revelation 14:12. To the best of our ability, because there are laws that apply to being in our land, absent Gentile interference, and having a temple for offerings. Matthew 5:18, Yahushua said, For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Fulfilled means made to happen. Matthew 5:17, Yahushua also said, Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Fulfill means make to happen. What did and what will Yahushua fulfill? Luke 24, verse 44. Yahushua appears to the disciples in Jerusalem, and he said unto them, These are the words which I spake unto you when I was yet with you, that all the things that must be fulfilled, meaning made to happen, which were written in the law of Moses and in the prophets and in the Psalms concerning me. The law of Moses was given to him on 2 tablets of stone, written with the finger of the Most High. And the reason why we're mentioning that is because people think that the law came from the man Moses, when it did not. It came from the Father. Exodus 31, verse 18. And he, the Lord, gave unto Moses, when he had made an end of communing with him upon Mount Sinai, 2 tables of testimony, tables of stone written with the finger of the Most High. These 2 tables of the testimony given to Moses were written on both their sides. This is a biblical fact. And we see it in Exodus chapter 32, verse 15. And Moses turned, and he went down from the mount, and the 2 tables of the testimony were in his hand. The tables were written on both their sides. On the one side and on the other were they written. Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 29. The secret things belong unto Yahweh our power, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. Baruch chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of the Most High, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. All praises to the Most High Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahushua.